I think the best way to describe it is iron sharpens iron. I feel like since I would say Kirby got to Georgia, so excluding 2016, that was his first year. So it's like with 2007, I exclude Saban's first year, didn't have a lot of his guys in, and then same with Kirby in 2016. I'd say since 2017, the gold standard right now in the SEC, besides 1 year with LSU, which which was a great team, but they're the two gold standards in the SEC. Now with the divisions gone, it really is, those two can play multiple times. I think is a heavyweight fight. This is something that you love about college football. You want the best games. You want the best teams playing each other, not at the end of the season, but you kind of want to see a round two. Like and it's not where you can see them again in the playoffs. Like in 2011, when we were there, like, LSU goes into Bama, beats them, great game. And you can make the argument that we didn't deserve to be in the BCS championship because of Oklahoma State, because people didn't want to see that matchup again. Luckily we did, because the better team won. Back in 2021, you saw Bama beat down Georgia in the SEC championship. And then, they get the luck of the draw again, and they get to play Bama a second time when it mattered the most. I would rather see us play once in the regular season, and then maybe one more in Atlanta, and then that's a do or die game for the loser again. I think this is going to be a fantastic game. The atmosphere is going to be incredible. It's probably the hardest ticket to get in college football in the last 10 years. I think I saw something today. National championship ticket from like Georgia versus TCU were cheaper than this game right now. It's going to be insane.
I
Yep.
believe
I
it.
mean, I think that was the same a couple years back when we didn't go to the national championship and we had played Georgia, and it was like you couldn't buy those tickets
No, no.
at all unless
Was
you
it
were
you talking
willing
about the
to.
Notre Dame national
Yeah,
championship?
I
yeah.
only reason I got one, I got a student ticket, and I got offered by this Notre Dame guy. And I'll give him dedication for this because he ended up getting one. He was standing outside the line, and every person who was coming to pick up their ticket, he would ask, and he had like $1,000 in cash, asking people. I said no, because this was like my first national championship game to go as a student, so I was like, no chance I'm doing this. But like I think like a few people walked past me, and someone ended up folding, and he got one. And he sat in. I remember seeing him. He sat in the Alabama student section. He left after the first quarter when we were up 21-0.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I commend him on that's a good strategy. I hadn't thought of it. I didn't have $1,000 to
No,
spend as a student.
no,
So
absolutely not. But no, but in all honesty, I think all eyes are going to be on this game. I know there's some other slates, going on, but this is the one game everyone has had circled on their calendar since it got announced. I know Michigan, Texas was going to be a draw. Georgia, Texas in a few weeks going to be big. Everyone loves Ohio State, Michigan, or Oregon, Ohio State. This is the game that you could ask any college football fan where they want to be this weekend, and they're going to say Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
absolutely. And I think another aspect of it is it's Coach DeBoer's first time playing a program of this
Yep.
magnitude. Not only a program of this magnitude, but one that's within the conference and one that Coach Saban won against and lost against.
Mhm.
So I think there's that extra layer of anticipation just to see how Coach DeBoer leads the team against Kirby Smart.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is that you could flip it and say this is the one team that Kirby Smart, since he's been at Georgia, just can't beat. He just can't, and people are gonna be like, oh, he got him in the natty. Yeah, if you look at that game, Mechie's Luke goes down second quarter of the SEC championship game, and Jamison Williams is well on his way to over 180 yards receiving before he goes down in the second quarter. And you got Slade Bolden as your wide receiver one. No offense to Slade, he's a friend of mine, but like you go from Mechie and JMO to Slade Bolden and Aji Hall, who couldn't get separated whatsoever. Georgia, and I want to see, was it a Nick Saban problem with Kirby Smart, or is it an Alabama problem? Because if Georgia goes into Alabama and let's just say they lose by 10, you're going to get people saying, what the hell is going on with Kirby in this thing? Is it the yips when he plays it and he sees the Crimson A, or maybe he's had the luxury of playing in the weak SEC East since he's gotten there. And now the talent's catching up because now you got to worry about teams in the division. Like there are no more divisions. Now you got to worry about Ole Miss. Tennessee's no joke this year. You got Texas now. I think Oklahoma is still a few years away recruiting, but I mean they're not going to be a slouch anymore either. So it's a very. I think this game is actually more important for Georgia than it is Alabama. And I've said that since the season because I think Kirby has all the pressure in the world saying if I can't beat Alabama without Nick Saban, I'm gonna have to deal with this guy for another decade plus because DeBoer's not going anywhere either. He's young. He's I mean he's building a giant recruiting. I don't even think he's got his full offense in play yet. I think next year with Ty and Russell coming in, we're gonna see a lot more Washington than we are seeing Bama offensively in the next couple years.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think there's also that layer of, say Alabama does lose, then
Yeah.
you say, well, it's a new coach.
Yeah.
We're still trying to get the rhythm. There's not
definitely more expectation on Georgia than
Yeah.
Alabama
Exactly.
at this point.
Exactly. Now, Bama fans will still be in an uproar if we lose.
Oh yeah.
Get that wrong. But there is that, okay, we're settling in, whereas Kirby, he's been at the helm. This isn't new for him.